don't have a content problem. You see, you have a selling problem. And it is quietly costing you every sale you think that you are one good post away from making. See, here's the truth nobody in your comments will tell you. You could have the best content in your niche. You could have clean edits, real value, people who are commenting and saying, wow, this is so helpful, and still make almost nothing, because helpful is not the same as being sold. So in the next few minutes here, what I'm going to show you is exactly why nobody is buying your $5,000 offer and why it has nothing to do with your content, and exactly what to do instead. Starting with the one thing that you're doing every single day, and that is training your audience never to buy. Let me go ahead and describe your last 30 days. Tell me if I'm right here. You posted a lot, maybe every single day. You gave away tips and breakdowns and mini lessons, good stuff. You actually showed up for your audience. And how many times in those 30 days did you actually make an offer? Not just hint at it, not put a link in your bio and hope. Actually look your audience in the eye and say, here is the thing I built, here's who it's for, here's what it cost, and here's how you get it. For most of you, and no hard feelings here, the honest answer is probably close to zero. And that is the pattern. You see, you are producing constantly and selling almost never. And then you just sit there, confused about why the money isn't coming. Because in your head, content and money are the same lever. In actuality, they are not. You see, all the content is it builds attention. Offers turn attention into money. See, that's two completely different jobs. And you have been doing one of them obsessively and the other almost not at all. So here's why this is so sneaky. Posting feels productive. It feels like work. You hit publish and then you get a little hit of, oh, I did something good for my business today. But if there is no offer attached to it, you did something for your audience. And realistically, you did nothing for your business. You see, I get messages constantly like, James, I post every day. My engagement is good, but I'm not making any sales. And I always ask one question back. How many times this week did you actually ask for the sale? And then they go quiet every single time. Because that is the real number. Not your follower count, not your views. How many times did you make a clear offer? That number is your revenue ceiling. And for most creators, it's basically zero. So the question is, why don't you do it? You know you have something good. You know people need it. Why does the actual selling just not happen? Well, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, I think it's two reasons. And honestly, you're probably sitting there watching this and you need to hear both. The first one is the fear of looking like a sellout. You see, you've built this identity as a helpful person, a value person, the creator people trust. And somewhere in your head, selling feels like it breaks that. The moment you ask for money, you become one of those cringe guru course seller types that you maybe used to roll your eyes out. So you protect the brand. You stay in the nice, helpful creator role, but you ultimately stay broke doing it. Let me go ahead and say the quiet thing out loud here. That is not humility. That is vanity. You are protecting how you look more than you are serving the actual people who actually need the help and need the thing you've built. You would rather be admired for free than useful for money. The second reason is this belief that if your content is just good enough, people should just get it. They see the value, connect the dots, and come to you when they're ready to buy. So you never really spell it out. You never make it super obvious. You just keep dropping value and waiting for them to figure it out on their own. Look, the truth is they will not figure it out on their own, ever. Your audience is not sitting there studying your content, trying to reverse engineer your offer. They're scrolling. They're half paying attention. They're busy. If you do not tell them clearly what you sell, who's it for, and what to do next, they will consume all of your free stuff, nod, feel helped, and scroll right to the next cat video. Not because they do not want what you have, because you never actually offered it to them. Good content that never makes an offer does not build a business. You see, it builds an audience that likes you and then buys from someone else. So here's the ultimate reframe here. And if you actually take this one in, I promise you everything will change. Selling is not the opposite of serving. Selling is how you serve at scale. And I want you to think about this honestly, okay? If you genuinely believe that your offer changes people's business or their lives or their physical ability, then staying quiet about it is not the polite thing to do. It's actually the selfish thing to do. Every day you do not make the offer clear is a day that someone who needed it kept struggling because you were too worried about looking pushy. Look, here's the truth. When you have something that actually works, and again, I'm talking about not a scam, something that actually works, making the offer is not you taking from people. It is you giving them the chance to get a result. Your job is not to convince, trick, or pressure. Your job is to make it obvious, to make it easy, and to let the right people say yes. And look, here's the part that stings a little bit. A money problem is almost never a money problem. It's honestly a symptom. When the sales are not there, it's not because the market is broken or your niche is too saturated or maybe your content needs to be worked on better. It is because there is no system underneath the content that turns attention into a decision. No clear offer, no clear path, no moment where you ever actually ask. And that is the difference between a creator and an operator. You see, a creator makes stuff and hopes. An operator builds the thing that turns that stuff into money on purpose every single time. Same person, same audience, completely different result. The only thing that changed is one of them deciding selling was part of the job, not optional. Now, look, real quick, if you actually want the exact thing, I had my own clients for this. I made a one-page resource called the Non-Salesy Offer Script. It is the literal structure for making your offer in a way that feels natural instead of gross. It's actually linked down in the description below. Go ahead and grab it. No catch, no opt-in, no nothing. Use it this week. So how do you actually do this? All right, let me give you the mechanics because just sell more is useless advice. Step 1, I need you to separate your content from your offer in your own head, all right? Content earns attention. The offer converts it. Look, you need both on purpose, all right? But from now on, every week, you are going to make a real offer, not a bio link, a direct, spoken, or written, obvious offer. Here is what I do. Here's who it's for. Here's how it looks like when we work together. Here's the next step. If that sentence never leaves your mouth, you're not selling. Step 2, make it repetitive and boring. See, you're terrified of being annoying, so you mention your offer once, softly at that, and never again. Your audience, they didn't even see it. On any given day, a tiny slice of your people are online, and even smaller slices are ready to buy right now. If you only make the offer once, you caught almost none of them. You see, the creators making money are making the offer over and over and over again in different ways until it is impossible to miss. You see, repetition is not being salesy. Repetition is just making sure that people who wanted it actually get the chance. Step 3, get into conversations. Now look, this is the one that nobody wants to hear, and I get it. When I started, I was having 30 to 50 conversations a day. Not broadcasting, okay? That's actually talking to human beings because the sale doesn't happen in the comments. It happens in the DMs or on the call or, in the real back and forth where you understand what someone needs and you ultimately show them how you help. If you are having barely any conversations today, that is not a mystery why you're not making money. It's actually the answer. That is exactly why nothing is closing. Step 4, have somewhere for the yeses to go. This is where honestly most creators fall apart. Someone raises their hand and there is no clear next step. No booking link, no offer page, no path. So the interest just evaporates. You need a simple path from I'm interested to I'm in. For a lot of you, that is going to be a call. For few and some of them out there, maybe that's a low ticket offer that leads into some sort of ascension funnel. But at the end of the day, any of that has to exist before you start selling, not after. Now look, none of this requires more content, right? I want you to hear that again. Not one of these steps is post more. They are the operator moves that sit underneath the content and that actually turns it into money. See, the content was never the real bottleneck. the missing offer was. Now, let me zoom out a little bit for you here because honestly, this is bigger than sales. The reason this matters is not so you can feel like a, better marketer. It's because the whole point of building this thing was to own your own income and your time, not to depend on anyone else for your livelihood. And you do not get that from an audience that just likes you. You get it from a business that sells. Now, for every single creator I've watched who's actually broken free, they had the same turning point. They stopped treating selling as the dirty part of the job and started treating it as the whole job. They kept making great content, sure, but they also decided clearly that they were allowed to ask people to buy the thing which helps them. The day that switch flips is the day the money starts showing up. And it usually, honestly, has nothing to do with posting more. So here is what I want you to sit with. You are probably not one viral post away from your breakthrough, and that's just the truth. The audience is already there. The trust is already there. The only thing missing is you actually opening your dang mouth and selling the thing you built. Stop hiding behind your content. See, your content is not the problem. Your silence is. If that hit, then the next thing you need to do is see how to build the actual system that makes the selling happen for you instead of carrying it on your back every day. Now, I actually broke down the whole thing and it is right down here in the next video. So go ahead and watch it and I will see you